Well, the conversation about women in the workplace has never been more important than this very moment as Vice President Kamala Harris becomes the presumptive presidential nominee for the Democrats. Her credentials have been called into question. Is a woman fit to lead?
Woof.
If a woman has never had children on her own, is she fit to lead? And on and on and on and on.
Well, according to recent data, women CEOs run 10.4% of Fortune 500 companies here in the U.S., and that number is growing. So here to help us take a deep dive into women changing the workplace is Carrie Kerpen. She's the she's the founder and CEO of the Whisper Group, an exit readiness advisory practice for women-owned businesses. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So excited to be here.
This one's been singing your praises.
I've been singing your praises.
You in here.
This is the only time you will see Carrie Kerpen sit still, because she is always running and doing a bunch of things.
Making things happen.
Carrie, not because you're my friend, you've always been a champion of women in the workplace. So for that, we thank you.
Thank you, Marisol.
Let's get it. And she's also a lifelong Mets fan.
Forever.
Oh, there you go.
So you created Whisper. First of all, that is fantastic. Before that, you created the first ever digital agency, Likeable Media, back in 2007. All female founded. Mostly female founded.
Except for the co-founder, who is my husband.
You know what?
But we'll talk about him in a minute. Shout out to Dave.
Shout out to Dave Kerpen. I wonder, 2007 feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
What are some of the changes, or how have you seen the evolution of women in the workplace from 2007 to now 2024?
Well, I'll tell you. In 2007, I found corporate America to be totally untenable for women in the workplace. I felt that there was not enough time in the day to not only be presentable as a woman in corporate America, all the things we have to do that men don't do, but talk about raising a family, it was just impossible. And so when my husband and I launched Likeable Media, which was one of the first social media agencies, we decided that we wanted to build a company that was based on balance. If balance was one of our core values, we could attract top female talent. And that is how we built this fantastic all-female leadership team that led and grew the business. Now, I think as more women are at the helm of corporate, we are seeing them incorporate some of these elements to incorporate balance into corporate America. So that's how it's different. In 2007, there was zero balance. Now, you know, here we are in 2024 with more women at the helm. I am hopeful that in corporate America, there is more balance.
Sure.
We all are. Let's go back to the statistics that we mentioned. We got into it at the top. Female CEOs here in this country, 10% are running Fortune 500 companies. For the rest of the female workforce, though, you are noticing an interesting trend. So please elaborate there.
I am noticing a trend. So 40% of women are leaving the workforce to start businesses. Women are starting businesses at twice the rate of the population. Let me tell you why. The system, no matter how much of it's evolved, is not built for us. The system is based on corporate, which is about a man goes into work and a woman stays home and keeps the house. That is no longer an option for many people financially. But not only is it a financial decision, it's also many women choose and want to work. And so you enter into a system that is not balanced.
It's from the 50s.
It's from the 50s.
Antiquation nation.
And so what are we doing? We are taking it into our own hands. We're starting businesses with things we're passionate about. Usually, they're lifestyle businesses, right? You become a consultant or you become an interior designer, something that you know how to do, and you launch a new business, which is fantastic. For me, at the Whisper Group, what I want to do is help women take those beautiful lifestyle businesses that they're using to get through this time and have balance and earn a little bit of money and support your kids. I believe that you can take those businesses and turn them into life-changing assets when you sell them.
So that you're actually making money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I want women to make all the money.
Yeah. Wait, I want us all to make all the money.
Yes.
I want to push back on one point.
Yep.
Because we've featured many women on this show who are uncomfortable, or they're unhappy in their place of work, and they start a side hustle, only to see it collapse a couple of years after, because you have to have your ducks in a row, right? You can't have $2.99 in the bank
You must have a plan, you must have focus, and you must be able to take the jump. See, I like a side hustle, but a side hustle lacks a level of focus that is needed to take that business and give it the attention it deserves. And so it's very difficult. Not only are we, so now we say, okay, you still work in corporate America where there's no balance, but now add a side hustle to it. You're setting women up to fail. The only way to do it is to actually set a plan and take a jump.
Right.
Okay, and that's
I just got chills.
And that's what you're doing with the Whisper Group.
Yes.
First of all, I understand that
It's an
the
acronym.
letters, it's an acronym. What does Whisper stand for?
You must have worked in marketing.
I'm a big fan of the acronym.
I love an acronym.
Big fan. Okay, so Whisper stands for the 7 tenets needed for women to be able to get a business that they've already started and take it through to sale. However, I was thinking about it. It also works for when you're starting a business. So first, it's really understanding your why. Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah. Right.
Are we doing this because we want to become the next Elon Musk, or are we doing this because we want to support our kids, or are we doing this because we want more time to go to the gym?
Great.
Whatever the reason, that's your why. Then your how. How are you actually going to build this and make money doing it? Your income. How much income can you make from this business? Your secret sauce. What makes you different from anyone else? Your profit. How are you going to make sure that the money that you generate comes back into your household? Your executive team. That's the team you build around you, but if you're a solopreneur, it's also the processes that you put in place to make sure that if you wanted to go on vacation, you could hand something over to somebody and it would be okay. And the last piece is your roar factor.
I like that one.
The roar is having the confidence and the intestinal fortitude to stick it out when it's tough. Because let me tell you something, it's tough.
Yeah.
But in the end, you can have fantastic rewards from it.
So of Whisper, of all of those things, which clearly you have spent a great deal of time thinking about, which one of those do you think is the most challenging, and what can folks who are watching this right now do to sort of adopt that and say, all right, I'm gonna take the jump, I'm gonna do it?
I'll tell you something that is the most challenging for women in particular, it's focusing on profit. I mean, we talk about when you launch a business, it's very hard to think about paying yourself first, but that's exactly what you need to do. If a business is not profitable, we're not getting funding at a rate that would allow us or afford us to run these huge businesses with no profit. You hear about them all the time. That's not reasonable for us. And so starting really with how I'm going to extract dollars from this business, coming up with it, it doesn't have to be tremendous at first. You're building something new. But know and have a plan to make money, and if you can't find that plan to make money, it's probably not the best time to do it.
Oh my goodness.
Here. Direct. She's
I
very
feel like
direct.
I just got a
Carrie
master
Kerpen.
class. I feel like I'm ready to go start a business.
Come on, let's go.
With what?
I'll do
I
it
don't
with
know.
you.
Let's go.
I know who I'm calling. Thank you so much for this conversation, for sharing your secret sauce with us and the viewers. Follow her at Carrie Kerpen on Instagram, or visit her website at wearethewhispergroup.com.
Whisper.
I like that.
I love that. Whisper ends in a roar.
It's from a whisper to a roar.
What? I just put that together.
It's all intentional.
I love it.